Hi everyone, I'm Ann Nelson, Marketing Manager here at SolarLog USA. Today we are discussing feed-in management, which helps to assist in installing plants in locations where feeding into the grid is either regulated or not allowed at all. Just a quick introduction into SolarLog. SolarLog is the global market leader in both residential and commercial monitoring. We currently have a fleet of over 271,000 plants and a capacity reaching almost 12 gigawatts. Now, feed-in management is a relatively new concept here in the US, so let's first start out by defining feed-in management. And here at SolarLog, we define this as managing the amount of power that's being fed into the grid at any given time. Let's understand why you need feed-in management. So we've actually seen an increased interest in the solution over the past year or so, and for a few different reasons. First, if local regulations actually limit the amount of power that you can feed into the grid. And this is the case in Germany, where SolarLog has been offering feed-in management solutions to adhere to a 70% feed-in regulation in the country, meaning they can only feed in 70% of the capacity at a time. But this is also relevant in the states like Hawaii, or in areas like Jamaica or Anguilla, where feeding back into the grid is either not allowed at all, or plant owners are actually charged for any power that they feed in. A second application for feed-in management, and this particular one is more popular here in pockets in the US, and this would be if the utility company actually puts a cap on your solar plant size due to the capacity of grid equipment. We've deployed feed-in management solutions in states like Connecticut and Massachusetts, and we've recently received some inquiries in New Jersey, and it's because of this exact scenario. The utility either requires that you pay for system upgrades or that you install a smaller plant than you had originally planned so that less power would be fed back into the grid. The third application for feed-in management would be if net metering policies change, or even if net metering actually dies altogether. And this is where we say SolarLog can really help future-proof the investment that you've made in solar. Installers and plant owners will each be able to remain profitable even after the death of net metering by installing smart energy management features and feed-in management solutions. We believe that we're likely to see more need for these solutions in states like Florida, California, or Nevada, where net metering caps are being met and the state policy is changing. SolarLog's feed-in management is a perfect solution in any one of these scenarios. SolarLog can actually regulate the inverter output to comply with all of these requirements. And I want to point out, it's very important to note that instead of shedding PV yield, the power can first be directed towards self-consumption or battery storage. And I'm going to touch upon this a little bit later in the session, but we'll go into it further in the next session, which will be more about these integrated battery storage and smart energy features. This illustration here shows how SolarLog applies the feed-in management solution. So a consumption meter measures the amount of power that's being used by the building, and with that data, the SolarLog can then curtail the amount of power being produced by the inverter to only produce as much as the building is consuming or using. And that would be the case in a zero-grid feed-in management solution. SolarLog can also regulate the inverter to produce either a percentage of power, which is the case in Germany, or to produce a specific kilowatt value over what the building is using. And that would be the case in areas where the local utility puts a cap on the amount of power that can be fed back in. So I want to move on and show you some real-life examples of where we've actually deployed the feed-in management solution. This first example here, this is a larger residential plant in Connecticut. I believe it's around 50 kilowatts. And when this project was first proposed, the plant owners and the installer were advised by the local utility company that they would have to pay to have the transformer upgraded due to its capacity and due to the large plant size that they wanted to install. So the installer knew about the solar log feed-in management, and they were able to propose that they install solar log to only produce 20 kilowatts more than what the building was consuming. And thankfully this was actually approved by the local utility company, and the project was able to move forward. This screenshot here, this is from the SolarLog Web NRS portal, and it shows in green the home's energy usage, and the yellow illustrates the amount of power that's being fed back into the grid. This yellow dotted line illustrates the power that would have been produced if solar log feed-in management had not been activated. The second example I have is a 50 kilowatt commercial plant at a medical facility. And this is located in an area where feeding back into the grid is not only not allowed, but you actually get charged for the amount of power that's being fed in. So this is where a zero grid export solution was needed. The first screenshot here from the SolarLog NRS portal shows the solar power production from the plant during the week when the facility is open. This second view shows the building's usage in red, which is power being purchased from the grid. So as you can see from this screenshot, during the week when the facility is open, it uses much more power than the solar plant produces. So during the week, there's no need for feed-in management because no power is being exported to the grid. So this next screenshot here, this shows power production on a weekend when the facility is closed and uses much less power than during the week. And I'm going to turn on the usage portion of the graphic. On the weekend, the solar log controls the inverters to only produce exactly what the building is using to avoid any export of power into the grid. So using solar log feed-in management for zero grid export, the facility owner was able to put up a large plant to lower electricity costs during the week, but also avoid feed-in charges on the weekend when the facility was closed. I mentioned earlier that we were going to touch upon smart energy management functions that SolarLog offers because, of course, rather than curtailing power, it would make more financial sense if that power could be put to use or stored for later. This here is a screenshot from the SolarLog NRS portal, which shows integrated battery storage monitoring. The SolarLog can monitor battery state of charge, grid feed-in, energy usage, the energy being used to charge the battery, the amount of power being purchased from the grid, and the amount of power being used from the battery. And we'd be happy to go over all of this functionality in more detail, so please reach out to us directly for more information about our battery compatibility and smart energy features. Here are a few examples of SolarLog hardware, and the SolarLog model needed for feed-in management is going to depend on plant size and segment, so whether it's commercial or residential. But we do have solutions for all plant sizes from small residential up to large commercial. You'll need either a SolarLog data logger or a SolarLog 370 meter plus a consumption meter. Your local sales rep will go over your plant details to determine which solution is best for your application. SolarLog is compatible with over 100 inverter brands, plus EVs charging stations, batteries, heat pumps. We have a list of over 1,000 components that we're compatible with. So it really eliminates the need to juggle several monitoring platforms because you can consolidate to just one online portal. The power management functionality is not available with all inverters. I do want to mention that. So just make sure you confirm with your sales representative which inverter model you're planning on using. We can also make suggestions for ones that will work with our power management. So just be sure to talk to your sales rep about that. So that's all we have for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us via our website, solar-log-america.com, or send us an email at north-america@solarlog.com. Thank you.